Welcome to the weekly dose of woo, where we keep track of the woo so that you do not have to. The huge thing about this week, as of yesterday, Chiron went retrograde. So for those of you who do not know, retrograde means turning inward. It means looking inside. And the other part of retrograde is not doing things that are new. It's about looking at things and rewriting, revising, reworking them to be able to utilize them better for the future. So this is the time where you turn inward to propel yourself to the future in the best way possible, in the healthiest way possible for you. And why this is so important specifically for Chiron. Chiron in astrology is the aspect of your chart that has to do with your wounded healer. So the deepest, most core part of you that hurts, that is wounded. And a huge misconception about this is that everyone's is the same. Your Chiron will be completely unique to you based on the house it's in astrology, which is the where in your life your wounds will show up. And then also the sign it shows up in. So the sign is going to be a lot of how it shows up in your life. And when we talk about our wounds, so I will use myself as an example and throw myself under the bus a lot during this little class. My Chiron is in Gemini. It is the only air sign I have in my entire chart. My whole chart is basically water and fire. I'm just a boiling pot of water on a stove, basically. But my Chiron is air, and so my wound, my original OG, the deepest wound that I will ever have, that is your Chiron. And mine is Gemini, which means I struggle with being misunderstood and judgment and miscommunication, which is something that I have struggled with my whole life. No matter what I say, someone always takes it the wrong way. And the vast majority of time, someone gets butthurt about it. There are so many trolls online who prove this point. I have screenshots. So what you do with Chiron is you first learn what your Chiron is. And you can do this by having your astrology chart done. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to do my astrology chart. Not for me. One, it is a wealth of information. I think everyone should get their astrology chart done because it is basically the cheat code for your life. Like your second house tells you how you're going to make and move money. Why wouldn't you want to know that? I want to know that. I want to know that about other people too, because if I do deals with them, I want to know how they're moving money. I want to know where their strengths and weaknesses are so that I can make the most money with them and they can make the most money with me, or however you see prosperity. So with your Chiron, if you don't want to do astrology, you should. But if you don't want to, it's important to just, this is the face you will make when this wound comes up. Or something similar. It is not like, oh, that twinges a little. Oh, that hurts. You will make a like grotesque, like, oh, face when you work with this. It is not meant to be comfortable. And that's the other misconception that people have a hard time with. It's not meant to be comfortable. People think that you're going to lay down on a nice couch and there's going to be pillows and candles and soft music and you're going to go, I feel healed. It's amazing. No, this is the time where you do shadow work. This is the time where you look at your ego. This is the time where you see what toxic traits you have that are cock blocking your own success. Because I guarantee, while there are villains in your story, you are part of the problem, because no one has infinite knowledge. No one is perfect. And so make sure that you're using as many tools as possible to be as successful as possible and healing. So the secret superpower of Chiron is basically, once you acknowledge it, find out where it is. Acknowledge that you have it. Work on it and heal from it, 3 steps, and then it becomes a superpower. So again, the example of Gemini, once that happens, you become incredibly articulate and you're able to speak your message and you're able to speak your truth and everyone understands you, which is why now when I talk on stages, I'm incredibly impactful and do not sound like an awkward seal flopping around on stage like a little weirdo. I can now captivate an audience where before I couldn't, because my communication wound was still alive and well and possibly oozing. So be aware of the wounds that you have that are holding you back, and understand that once they heal, you will use them to have a better life, to have a bigger life, to be able to manifest more and create the life that you want to have. And so remember that the weekly dose of woo happens every week, and this is the class that we record, but if you want to see all of it, you have to come to the Zoom, which is happening just over there, with all the pretty faces smiling at me right now. And you get to have all 4 rounds, the manifesting, the bragging and support, the mini class, and then the exercise, which happens right after I hit stop record. All of these are fabulous. Everyone who joins is fabulous. It is a judgment-free zone. Be the hero of your own story, and have a great day.